My name is Tyler Royke. I'm here with my co-host Jimmy Doolin. You're listening to ABC's Agent Broker Conversations, where we talk all things real estate. And Jimmy, good to see you here. Happy Monday.
Yeah, happy Monday to you too, my friend. I saw a post that you put out there. You were looking like a youngster.
Oh yeah,
You
with none of this. That was like the last image of me before I had any facial hair.
well, and I think you've hit the gym quite a bit since that picture too.
Yeah, I definitely have. It's definitely noticeable if I go back from pictures 10 years ago till now. I thought I was in good shape then, but I guess I've lifted a little bit more since then.
I'd say you've lifted a lot more since then. You look like a petite version of yourself. You look like you're more of the manly version of Tyler today than that one looked like more of the boy version.
Oh, well, thank you. That's a big compliment, especially coming from you. So,
Oh, thanks, man. So, last week I make my calls, right? I mean, I enjoy making calls, so I make calls because to me it's fun. But I've been just kind of trying to figure out. I don't have call reluctances in terms of like it just doesn't bother me like some people really are bothered by making. But I was a little challenged, and I finally kind of I don't know honed in on it. I think my reluctance of that I experienced a little bit was based on scripts versus the not just the idea of making the call, but the idea of having something that I had to say to every person. So last week I dialed significantly more for the week, but I just freewheeled it, if you will. I didn't have a script. I just called and started down a path based on information that I had, or if I didn't have it, I asked questions, and I found it so much more enjoyable. And I bet I called 50 more last week than I have any other week. I mean, I
so
probably
just by throwing out the script, so you didn't really even have any guiding points in front of you for these calls.
none. But now, when we say that, you don't throw it out because if you've done enough calls, there are some built in things that you say. And if somebody triggers a direction, I went with it. But part of my dialogue with people was just around the fact that I grow the old fashioned way. I pick up the phone as a team leader and I reach out to people and see if there's an opportunity for us to help them or them to help us, etc. And I had quite a few people respond favorably that they liked that I wasn't, it wasn't a robo type of call, etc. But I just found it more enjoyable picking up the phone and just dialing and seeing where the conversation goes. I'm certainly skilled, so it's not like I can't zig if they zag or whatever. But I'm also 100% of the mindset that there's only so hard you can push on one of these calls before you just turn everybody off, and I don't think that's going to be a win at all.
Yeah, I mean, people don't want to be sold.
No, no, lead. Um, they want to see an opportunity. Um, but yeah, but definitely, I agree. Not sold. So anyway, I found it more enjoyable, and as a result, I think I had more success. I don't recall how many appointments I booked last week, but I think I did really well, and I think it was just out of just sheer comfort.
Yeah, well, that's great. I'm glad to hear you had a great week. Sounds like you'll be building upon it here in the week ahead, right?
Man, I certainly hope so. That's the plan is to get better every week.
Yeah, right on. I'm right there with you.
So, what was your? How did your week go for you?
I mean, it went good. I went to build. you
How
know,
was
so I
it?
spent a couple days there. It was good. Pretty packed house for for the event. I mean, it was a few hundred people, maybe. Not sure, 300-400 maybe. And Yeah, I mean, solid all around. Kind of probably what you would expect from the speaker front of things. Nothing ground shifting for someone like us who gets into these rooms often, I would say. But I'd say probably for someone who's maybe if it was their first time at one of these events, or maybe if they're not as frequent of a flyer, I think it probably was a lot more needle moving for those kind of people, and that's kind of the feedback I was hearing. The agents that I had out there, and the ones that were there for the first time, it sounds like they got a tremendous amount of value from it. So that's, to me, that's the goal.
Is
So yeah,
Bill's
great
Bill's
room to be in.
is Build sales oriented or attraction oriented? What's the theme?
It's attraction oriented, but I mean, this one was honestly a lot more sales heavy than I would have expected, being that Build is an attraction event. They actually did talk more about sales and attraction, and I think they were just probably catering to what they felt that agents really needed right now. Even Brent Goves, he usually has something that's just all about mindset, or just kind of gets you hyped up. I mean, he was very tactical, sharing about something that relates to the sales side of things, which is not something I'm used to hearing from him. Like, he kind of went back to his playbook from when he was doing speaking from stages and teaching people about that side of the business. So, and I think that's probably what he sensed that people needed right now. So, he had some really great tactical stuff for, people that are, trying to get deals done right now. So,
Nice. Well, the closest one to us is Chicago, and I'm not going to make it, so that's why I was kind of curious to see. I spoke. I had a conversation with somebody this morning up in Boston, and she was going to the Build event up there. I think it's this Thursday and Friday, so I was expecting to hear more about that from her. But sounds like you had a good time. Where was yours?
it was in the Dallas area.
Yeah, so that was easy for you.
Yep, just a couple hour drive.
Nice, nice. And you say a couple hundred people?
At least probably three, four. I think 300-400 was probably more about what it was.
When you
And then not all the speakers were. I mean, they had one speaker who was a memory guy, which was pretty interesting. I'd say it was more entertaining than anything else. But this guy, he's like, um, he held a couple world records. I think they might have gotten beaten at this point, but like, he was a world record holder 2 times for like memory champion. Like, basically, he set a world record for memorizing stuff, and he did a couple things that were kind of mind blowing. But he had a lesson he made out of it. He kind of was teaching us how you can remember more people's names, basically. But he did this thing where he went around and met a bunch of people prior to speaking. And I was one of them. I didn't know who this guy was. He walks up and, shakes my hand and the two others that I was sitting next to. And he says, "Hey, when I say I'm going to speak, when I say if I met you before this, if you could please stand up, that would be great." So he did. And I look around the room when he did that. And sure enough, there's like literally over 100 people standing up. And what he proceeded to do is he proceeded to go one by one and recite back each of our names. And he only missed like 3 out of like over 100, which was insane. And he remembered mine. I almost thought like he like hesitated for a moment, and then he said my name. I'm like, okay, you got it. So that was pretty cool. But apparently he was wanting us to take away from that. Hey, it's not because I'm like gifted or something like that. Like, he kind of had a story about it, but ultimately it was a technique he learned, and he just really honed in on it. And he wanted us to take some things away from that. Like, basically he was telling us if you could remember more people's names, um, it will go a long way for your business.
I'm sure that's true because it you seem more genuine and more personal if you remember a person's name.
Exactly. The most important topic to any person is themselves, and then the next most important thing is their name. So,
Right. I'm not good with names, but I will remember somebody's story. And I don't have any qualms with walking up to somebody and saying, I know we met, I remember this, but geez, I don't recall your name. And I don't have any problems with that. I know a lot of people do. They would just choose not to say something. I usually say something. I'll just point out that I don't remember your name, but I do remember that you X, Y, or Z, whatever the story was. So I'll remember those kind of things about people, but I won't know all the details in terms of names. But I'm reading. I told you The Gap and the Gain. I've been reading that book, and uh, I'm on no fast exercise of reading this. But this morning I read it for 15 minutes or so, maybe 20 minutes, and the exercise that I did on there was, how do you define success for you? And I was just wondering, have you ever thought about that? Like what success looks like for you?
I think a lot about this actually because of a mentor, of mine who, I mean, I wouldn't be in real estate without him pointing me in that direction. But he actually shared something that it's an audio. It's called "The Strangest Secret" by Earl Nightingale. Have you heard of that? Have you listened to that?
Well, I know who Earl Nightingale is, but I have not. I have not. What'd you say the title is called?
It's The Strangest Secret. I'd say it's a book, but really it's an audio. Because Earl Nightingale had a radio program, so it's like a 31-minute audio, and it's on YouTube. It's very, a lot of people have listened to it on YouTube. But yeah, The Strangest Secret. But he actually dives into this exact topic on there, and that's probably, I would imagine, if you listen to it more than once, that's probably your biggest takeaway from it is like, okay, what is success? And Earl says that success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal or otherwise a goal. Like, so a goal that you set, that you define, not that the world around you defines, but something like that you want, that you decide that you're going to pursue and commit yourself to. So he says success is the progressive realization of it. So it's intending and assuring that you're actually progressing towards that goal that you set out to accomplish for yourself. Putting it in my own words, but anyway, so that's my biggest takeaway. I mean, I learned that like 11 years ago. And so, ever since then, it wasn't really something I had thought much about. But since that point, I mean, if you ask me how I define success, I would say it's pretty much in alignment with what Earl says. Because, I mean, to me, that makes a lot of sense. Um,
The way that the way
Go
that
ahead.
well, the way that we did it in the book was it wanted 10 things that how you define success for you. So in other words, 10 goals, if we want to call them goals, whatever, but the 10 ways that you would identify success for you. So I think I got, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 8 that I wrote down. So here's the 8 that I wrote down. When I spend my time with people that I want to, when I help 10 people achieve their success, whatever they define as success, when my son achieves his success, when I start my day in a coffee shop, when I spend as much time as I want in an RV, when I sleep under the stars or next to a stream, when my plans are based on desire with no regard for money, and when 0% of my time is taken by thinking of money. Those were the 8 things that I wrote down that were, and reading it, that's, um, the title is "I'm Being Successful When." That's the precursor, and then you write, "I spend all my time, with people that I want to." You know,
Yeah, that's very well defined, I would say.
yeah, I just thought it was a neat exercise. I think more people should do that. Um, it was, I love doing it on the Kindle, and I know you have it, because when you read a book on here, and then you have an exercise like this, immediately the blanks are right there. You just start writing right inside the book. And so if you go back and reread this book, and it says you'll change over time. What you define as success will change as you become more successful. So, but it's interesting because when you're writing when you have the Kindle, you just write right in there and away you go. Keep on plugging. So
Yeah, I like that. And that, yeah, that goes to, part of, if you listen to that audio, which I think you'll really
I
appreciate
will.
it.
I'll do it for sure.
But, Earl speaks a lot to this specific topic. And, basically the driving force between like why most people don't succeed or probably wouldn't say they're successful if you ask them is because they never really thought about what it means to be successful. And they never really defined that for themselves. So that's like a big key point of what he talks about there.
Well, it's interesting because this is the first time in my life that I would define successful to me. And for the first time in my life, I don't have anything as it pertains. I'm not using financial as a component in this. And even to the extent of going the other direction and saying where 0% of my time is consumed by thinking about money. So that would be a 180 degrees from the last time in my life that I would have, if I had been asked how do I define this or what does success look like for me, I would have had more data driven, X number, so much money saved, or so much in terms of revenue, or I just would have had stuff in there that was very, very different. And so when he says in this book that, write it down, and then, no matter how soon you do it again, it'll change again. I could certainly see that because this would have not been my answer going back a number of years ago.
Yeah, it makes a good sense. So yeah, to our audience, do the exercise. Is that the takeaway here? Do the
Yeah, I
exercise.
mean, I think everyone should consider doing that. It's, again, start with the sentence, I'm being successful when, and try to come up with, the answer to that 10 times, 10 things that you're doing with your life that you would define that as a successful point in your life. Like I said, I start my day in a coffee shop. Well, to me, if I'm starting my day in a coffee shop, that just means that I don't have to race into the office. I don't have to, get to my desk or get on a call. It means I'm starting my day slowly, because that means I'm probably sitting in the coffee shop, maybe reading or meeting somebody I don't know, or, building a new relationship, etc. So those things all have representation, and they represent different things to different people, of course. So yeah, anyway, I enjoyed the exercise. I love that book. So I'm just such a avid person on The Gap in the Gain. But I will listen to The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, I think you'll appreciate it.
I am confident I will, sir. You depart good wisdom. You're always sharing good stuff, so I'm sure it'll be a worthy read. I will tell you this: I think I'm going to skip Scottsdale.
Really?
Yeah, I knew you'd be surprised.
Why is that?
Well, so I've already got it all booked. I got my room and everything, so I actually have to go undo it. I haven't done it yet, but my thought process is my plate is so full. I've got good momentum, and I'm just not sure that it's the best use of my time to go go away, and because I'm working diligently to get Attractify going. I'm working aggressively on getting clothes going. I did that Real Grader. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
That's for reviews, right?
Well, it's reviews, but it's also just a cleansing and an organization of your social media platforms. And so I've got that going on. And we are we've got our first draft of our new newsletter that we're trying to figure out what platform to put it on so that it does what we want it to do. Um, and honestly, my calls, I'm making lots of calls and I'm scheduling lots of appointments. So I'm just kind of the mindset. I don't know if I have any capacity for anything new. And uh, so if I don't go, I'm going to get the new stuff. I'm just going to get it via email, and I can stay here and keep getting stuff done.
Yeah.
I just feel like I'm a little concerned of disrupting my momentum.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it makes sense. I can appreciate that.
And it also, by the way, I had my best friend, one of my two childhood best friends is getting married the weekend before that. So I'm already in Vegas. And then I was going to go straight from Vegas to Scottsdale. And then Scottsdale, I was going to go meet my wife in Florida because we've got a trip planned for her birthday to be with our son. So I'm thinking, I've already got two trips. It would have put me on the road for 3 straight weeks.
Yeah.
And
I hear you.
so I'm like, if I don't go there, then I'll go to Vegas for my buddy's wedding, and then I'll come home, and then we'll go down to Florida for spend time with our son and my wife's birthday, and that'll be good. And then come home, and that'll give me that roughly 7 days in between, 10 days in between here at the office where I can get stuff done. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. But
Yeah.
I wanted to let you know because I know I had already told you I was going to go. Um, so
All good. Well, yeah, I think momentum's very valuable, and when you have it, it's worth protecting and making sure you're doing everything you can to keep it going. So
yeah, and honestly, I'm feeling really good about the. I'm feeling as though my activities are now leading to consistency, and as we get all of these things that we're working on, as they get accomplished, um, it's like 10x what I'm doing. So instead of everything being done by me, now things are happening through automated, help and assistance. So now I'm doing stuff that I'm not doing, in other words, and that feels pretty good. I mean, like RealGrader, for instance, it was funny because I got a message on there that somebody liked something that I post on LinkedIn. So I went to LinkedIn to look to see. I figured I'd been hacked. Well, no, it was RealGrader. It was putting some stuff out there. So, I just feel like that's getting me, uh, more consistently seen and stuff like that. So if I can get through those things, between now and the end of the year and get all my database labeled and massaging it, working it properly, then I'll have greater level of success in 26.
yeah, set the foundation for a big year.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there'll be, as you know, they'll send us the email afterwards, so I'll get whatever the big announcements were, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of great content. It's not a reflection of the event because I do think they do a great job, and there'll be lots of good content, lots of good information. It's just a capacity issue.
Yeah, I hear you.
So anyway, and I've got you. You'll fill me in. Well, I'll interview you preceding that event, and I'm confident you'll take the interview and you'll be willing to share what you saw and what you heard.
Yeah, most definitely.
Have you fully transitioned to Slack, by the way? Are you 100% over there?
I mean, yes and no. I still like keep an eye on Workplace because sometimes there's referral opportunities and stuff that pop up. So I like to help, my partners see those when they come up, because if they close one, I get paid too. So that's part of the one of the small ways I help people out. But yeah, so for that's the main reason. I mean, besides that, I'm all on Slack.
Yeah, I've they seem to be moving everything over there pretty rapid fire right now. So I've gone from being, I don't think I have requested to be a part of anything, but I am a part of an awful lot of things, and I see people dropping out of things. So I I haven't dropped out of anything that I know of as of yet, but I don't know because man, if I'm in Slack and I get out 5 minutes, if I get out of it and then go back 5 minutes later, I've got five unread messages.
Yeah, there's a lot of channels, and you can pick which ones you want or need to be a part of. But the way I think of some of them, just depending on what it is, like you don't really need to sit there and take the time to read every message in it. Like some of them you might, but I wouldn't say that's the case with all channels. Some of them, the way I see some of them are an opportunity channel, if there's, different connections happening, or, I said referrals already, but, maybe it's a referral channel. Do I need to read every message that pops up in there? No, I just need to scan it and look for, whatever opportunity might be applicable. And that doesn't take much time. So,
No, that's and you're right. There are a lot of referral channels, and I'm on a few of them that I'm not sure that I need to be on all of them, but irregardless, you're right. They don't take long. Most of the time, I can just click. But then I think to myself, well, if I'm not going to really look through it for a referral in Indiana or something that I could get along to one of our people, then what's the point? So I don't know. It's kind of
yeah, exactly.
I kind of go back and forth with it. So yeah. Anyway, I do think Slack's going to be a phenomenal tool. Are you familiar? Like I know I mentioned Real Grader. Are you familiar with it?
I wouldn't say I'm familiar. I've heard a thing or two about it, but I can't really tell you, I could tell you much about it. Just I've never dove into it.
I am. I can't wait for my. So August 11th is my kind of launch. That's where I'm scheduled with somebody who will go through and complete everything. Excuse me.
Bless you.
But I am just thoroughly impressed with that tool. It is, in terms of unifying and cleaning up and organizing both reviews and just everything. It's pretty amazing, everything that it does. I think it is a phenomenal tool in terms of consistency across all the platforms. It gives you a wonderful posting platform for content creation, both custom and content that they've created as well. But it is pretty remarkable. And they are on it. Like when you talk about customer service, those guys do not mess around. They are working hard to promote you. So anyway, neat tool. I was unfamiliar with it. Glad that I went forward with doing it because it's cleaning up a lot of stuff. I mean, I had like 3 or 4 realtor.com profiles, and I don't even know how I do, but one of the things they do is help get rid of those. They check all the links on all your profiles and everywhere you are so that things are going the right place and that they work. And so lots of pretty positive stuff with it.
Does it help you get more reviews from clients and stuff
It
like
does.
that?
It helps you get reviews. It gives all the platforms where you can be reviewed. But yes, so it does. They have the business card, the digital business card that they create that allows you to send a link for reviews to somebody. So yeah, no, it does quite a bit.
That's
Quite a bit.
awesome.
Yeah, it is. I'm very impressed with it. And I would say mostly what impresses me with it is it feels like a good value because even though it's not cheap, it's a couple grand. But by the time they're done, they've scoured, 8 different platforms, Twitter, realtor.com, Zillow, Instagram, any of the social media platforms. Um, they've scoured all that stuff and cleaned it all up and organized it and made sure that everything works. So when somebody's looking for you, you're just going to show up in a much better, more professional way than I currently do because of mistakes. I mean, they found stuff in my Google profile that they made requests for to be updated and changed, and I don't know, just very, very thorough. So it does feel like a good value. And then I know I mentioned this to you before, but that close is just, I can't say enough about how amazed I am by that CRM. I mean, it is it's unprecedented, the stuff that damn thing is doing. All the shit going on behind the scenes that I'm not doing, just mind boggling.
Like, just as far as, like, automations or, like, what's the biggest thing you like about it?
Well, so far, so today I've got a couple. I'm taking a couple classes on it. So today I'll be able to do more with the context. So far, what I'm amazed in is the gathering of data. So typically, you get a CRM, and the first thing you got to do is put people in it, right?
Mhm.
And then once you put people in it, you can do stuff. Well, with Close, the first thing you do is link your social media platforms, link your email addresses, link your cell phone, link your SkySlow, your Calendly, all the various places, and push a button, and then Close goes out and grabs all those contacts, all the people you're communicating with, either via phone or text or email or whatever, social media or messenger. It goes out and grabs all those and creates profiles inside of your Close account. So it went and created 20,000 profiles in my account. So
No
I
kidding.
didn't upload 20,000 people.
Jeez,
It went out and found them and sucked them in.
that's wild.
Yes. And so, like, some of my agents, being with the previous brand we were with, some of their profiles, it still says, I'll give you one example. A buddy of mine, Kevin, it says Kevin Elson, and it's said underneath it Remax Ability Plus. Well, it went found when it synced and pulled him in, then it went out and looked at him on social media, and it checked his website, and it came back and said he's not with Remax, he's with EXP. Well, I know that because he's with me at EXP, but it updated it automatically.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
It changed people's phone numbers. It said this number is no longer valid, and it changed it to a new number. Changed email addresses. I mean, just job descriptions, like, and everything you do, whether it's text, call, social media, messenger, anything other than maybe handwriting a note or a letter, but anything you do, it finds it and links it to the account and shows your communication with them.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Well, yeah, I mean, it sounds like a pretty robust tool for building your actual sphere based on what people you're actually talking to. So it makes a lot of sense to me.
Well, I think when you talk about these new agents, I have one agent that's brand new to the business, never sold real estate before. She came from the hair. She had a little hair salon in her house. So I don't know how many customers she had, but whatever the number is, whether it's 100 or some number that she did over the course of the year, I she did Close, but by the time she was done, she had 5,000 contacts as a new agent in her sphere of influence in Close. How many agents would be further down the road if they were communicating with 5,000 people versus, I mean, sometimes it's hard to get an agent to get their 25 or 30 or 50 put together.
Yeah, that's massive.
Yeah, so she's coming out of the gate as a brand new agent with 5,000 people in her CRM and putting the action plans that are already built into place, and it's already communicating with them, talking about her being in real estate now.
So that might be a great starting point for a newer agent, is close, right?
I think so. It is very relational. So whether you're new and you have no database and you need to build one, I think this is by far the best tool. Or you already have an established sphere of influence, but your method is relationships. It's not buying leads. It's not that kind of thing. I think that's where this tool really benefits somebody. Now, they link with so you can buy Zillow leads and have them funneled right into close. But if your style is relationships, and if your style is building that rapport, then I think close is the platform.
Yeah.
Certainly if you go to a new area and you don't have any contacts, I mean, because this system's pulling people that I've communicated with all around the country, and messaging and texting and emailing and making suggestions to me to reach out to them. So building referrals, et cetera, et cetera. So I mean, it's all over the board. Gives me like 30, 40 recommendations of things to do each day. The person
Yeah.
the person I should call, or I should text, or I should message, or whatever.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. I like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Well, my friend, you got any closing words of wisdom?
Um, no, I mean, before we know it, the year's going to be coming to a close. I mean, it's already August, which is kind of crazy. So, I'd say the biggest thing is to figure out what you need to, probably figure out what you need to do more of to, really move the needle towards your goal, what it is you're progressing towards. So that's one thing. What things do you need to do more of? What things do you need to stop doing? That's a whole nother bucket, stuff that's not moving the needle. And then, what things do you need to just keep doing? Those three kind of buckets. That was something I read yesterday. But basically get clear on those things and get intentional about, taking some time from things that you can completely stop doing, put it more towards being consistent in the key areas, and then doubling, tripling down on the things that are really going to move the needle, or even just implementing something that is going to move the needle. So yeah, that's my words of wisdom that we'll wrap with here.
Sounds good. Well, you've heard it. You heard it first here from Mr. Royke. So the departing wisdom of my friend Tyler. Hey, this conversation's going on each and every week. We'd love to have you a part of it. So consider liking, sharing, commenting, etc. But join the fun. We enjoy having the conversation. We'd love to have you a part of it. We'd love to have you challenge us or agree with us or disagree. Heck, it doesn't really matter. We're open to any of it. Until next week, have a great week. And remember, there's always a conversation going on here. Talk to you soon.